In this video, you will learn how to tell if a man you're dating is a narcissist or if he's just a boy or player. So if you're seeing a man but you feel frustrated or confused by his behavior and you want to know exactly what you're dealing with, then you have to watch this video. Don't go anywhere because we're starting right now. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Antonio Borrello. This channel is all about helping you build great relationships so you can grow happy with the people you love. So if you're interested in making your love life the best part of your life, start now by clicking the subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you aren't missing anything. Okay, how to tell if the guy you're dating is just a boy or player, or if he's really a narcissist, and why does it matter? I made this video because I've been hearing the phrase, he's a narcissist, more and more lately. That's because the term narcissist has become more popularized over the past 5 to 10 years. Just take a look at these Google trends over the past decade and you can see the increase in the number of worldwide searches for the terms narcissistic relationships and dating a narcissist. These are highly searched keywords that continue to increase in popularity as more and more people search them up. And after reading or learning about narcissists online, many of the women that I've worked with over the past year or so have come to me convinced that the guy they were dating was a narcissist. And sometimes after hearing their stories, I agree with their assessment, but other times I think that they were simply dating a player or not necessarily a narcissist. I mean, on the surface they can seem to be similar, but make no mistake about it. Being in a relationship with a narcissist can be much, much worse. It's very stressful, unhealthy, and even toxic. So without further ado, here's how the two are similar and different. First, a player is usually a man who manipulates a woman's emotions by faking his romantic interest in her until A, he gets what he wants from her, or B, gets her to have feelings for him, and then he usually fades out or ends the relationship. Also, players often suffer from Peter Pan syndrome because they just can't grow up and it's all about a game to them. And in my opinion, the most important part of this definition is the faking his romantic interest part. On the other hand, a narcissist is also a person who is highly manipulative of partners, but for very different reasons, and we will get into those reasons in just a second. But in addition to being manipulative, a person with narcissistic personality disorder has a grandiose sense of self-importance, lacks empathy for other people, and constantly needs admiration. Narcissists are arrogant, self-centered, demanding, and are convinced that they deserve special treatment. So, manipulating others to get what they want is certainly a shared characteristic between narcissists and players. They both find satisfaction in getting people to fall for them because it feels like a victory to win the affection of someone else. And both players and narcissists are usually charming and may sweep you off your feet with their romantic talk and gestures. In fact, it's common for both narcissists and players to seem like real-life Prince Charmings when they first meet you. But this is probably where the similarities end. Here are the major differences. Number 1, love bombing. As I just mentioned, the aim of a player during the initial honeymoon phase may be to win your affection, your love, or to have sex with you. But once they have achieved that goal, the tide turns suddenly and he backs off or pulls away and leaves you waiting. That's the end of the honeymoon phase. That's when they stop making plans or commitments with you. That's when they don't consistently return your calls or texts. And that's when they become a master of excuses. And that's when they tell you that they don't want anything serious and it becomes just about hooking up. And that's also when you realize that something just isn't right. And like players, narcissists are very skilled at making a potential partner feel special during the beginning honeymoon phase of the relationship. Except they are much more convincing. Narcissists take it to the next level. They are masters of love bombing and sweep you off your feet in the most romantic and over-the-top ways. They fall in love very quickly. They claim to have never loved anyone like they love you, and they tell you that you are perfect in their eyes. They love everything you love. They wine and dine you. They can't get enough of you, and more than likely, it's the most romantic relationship you've ever had. In fact, narcissists are better at seducing your heart than someone who actually loves you because they're motivated by winning you over instead of actually getting to know you. So their extremely romantic gestures and thoughtful gifts is really a result of them studying you to know exactly how to be the perfect partner to you. Love bombing is an attempt to accelerate the birth and growth of feelings within you by creating an intense atmosphere of affection and adoration. It is designed to disarm your natural guardedness so that you do not question the direction and speed the relationship is headed in. So their love bombing is a means to seek attention, to boost their ego, and fulfill self-enhancement needs for sex, power, and control. Narcissists idealize prospective partners to augment their own lack of self-esteem. The thinking is, if I can win over the admiration of this very attractive person, then I must be worthy. So while a player is looking to gain your affection or to have sex with you, once they achieve that goal, they are off to the next person. On the other hand, a narcissist is trying to win your love, your approval, and your validation because he needs it to fill his narcissistic supply, or the empty space within them that they are unable to fill themselves. Some say it's because they never received proper unconditional love or acknowledgement and validation growing up, and others point to more biological explanations. But whatever the cause, the narcissist is driven to heal their wound through obtaining love, approval, and validation, but sadly, they're convinced that the answer lies outside of them. They believe, whether consciously or unconsciously, that other people, as opposed to themselves, are responsible for giving them these things. And so they need another person to become their narcissistic supply, and they effectively turn their supply into an extension of themselves, or in other words, a part of them. So while a player will leave you or fade you out after they achieve what they wanted, a narcissist wants to make you an extension of himself. And this is accomplished by the second key difference. Number 2, exerting narcissistic control and imposed isolation. Narcissists have a constant need to remain in control and stay in charge because when they are not, they may have to depend on another person to get what they want. And they can't stand to be at the mercy of other people's preferences. It reminds them that they aren't invulnerable or completely independent. They might have to ask for what they want, and even worse, people may not feel like meeting the request. So rather than express needs or preferences themselves, they often arrange events and maneuver people to orchestrate the outcomes that they desire. But as with most of these red flags, the efforts at control are often far subtler than outright abuse. Instead, narcissists have a way of making you feel nervous about approaching certain topics or sharing your own preferences. They make choices feel off limits without expressing any anger at all. Instead, maybe a disapproving wince, or they give you a last-minute call to preempt your plans, or be chronically late whenever you're in charge of arranging a night together. Again, they arrange events behind the scenes to get what they want. For example, you make plans to go out with your girlfriends on a Saturday night, and suddenly the man you're dating has front row tickets to see your favorite band on the same night. They are effectively preempting the plans that you might have had by planning to do something extravagant and presenting it as a surprise that they know that you can't refuse. And this type of control happens gradually, subtly, slowly, without you even realizing it. You fall into another person's plan, preferences, or desires. Another way they can gain control over their partners is by isolating them. Imposed isolation begins with your partner criticizing and questioning and making unwelcome your closest friends and social network. Narcissists will try to make you feel guilty for wanting to spend time with friends and family. For example, a woman might avoid an evening out with her friends because she knows her partner is jealous and is afraid of his reaction afterward. Now, to mask his jealousy, he'll flip the conversation towards questioning her motive for wanting a night out. Number 3, narcissists smear prior lovers. Another major difference between players and narcissists is evidenced by the way they both talk about prior lovers. Players might willingly talk about a prior lover in a very idealistic manner. They may tell you about how the love of their life broke their heart and they are now cold and not interested in a serious relationship. Narcissists, on the other hand, are often more than willing to discuss their past relationships, which can give you valuable insight and possible warning signs. When talking about their history, narcissists often describe past lovers as unstable or crazy or abusive. In addition, narcissists may even explain the smear campaign they waged against their former lover at the end of their relationship. So pay attention and listen for examples of triangulation or validations from the narcissist support network. Of course, they also hide behind a cloak of feigned innocence as they explain their genuine concern for the well-being of past lovers. But pay attention to how they talk about other relationships. You'll be surprised at what you'll learn. Number 4, gaslighting. We all feel self-doubt sometimes, and that is why this form of emotional abuse is so effective and destructive. Sometimes an emotional abuser will deliberately lie to you to confuse you and make you doubt your perceptions. They will make you doubt your own observations and your memory and your sanity. Or they will argue and wear you down until you don't trust what you know is true. And sometimes they will straight out deny what you saw. Narcissists will attack your clarity, your ability to tell right from wrong, your intelligence, and your good sense. They will remind you of mistaken perceptions that you've had in the past or insist on how superior their own intelligence is. But the goal is always the same: to destabilize your sense of sanity, competence, and self-worth. Now, can these people change? Maybe, but remember, the people you love can't change if they're unwilling to acknowledge their problems, whether they are drug addicts or alcoholics or extreme narcissists. If they can't get past their denial and begin to recognize their unhealthy patterns, it might be best for you to just move on. So if you're seeing multiple warning signs or a progressive pattern develop, you should be concerned. So be wise, trust your instincts, and protect yourself. I've also made a video on how to end an abusive narcissistic relationship. Click here to watch that video now, or click here to watch a video that YouTube thinks that you'll like. I'll see you in the next video.